either sell it off to somebody else or data mine it. It's like it's all sorts of just awful.
And the guy who's
Ow.
like using his account, like, such a scumbag
Mm-hmm.
behind it. Like, it's like the way he's talking, the way it's just, the way the person's talking reminds me a lot of, my ex, so it just pisses me off. Like the scammer that's using Sparky's account. Like the uncapitalized
Right.
eyes, the fucking saying you instead of like spelling it correctly. Like that type of shit.
Oh, it's a lot of leaked speak, basically.
Yeah, it doesn't know how to fucking say shit like that's
Mm.
how I knew it wasn't Sparky, because first of all, he's messaging me on Steam. He never messages me on Steam. What else? Yeah, and he was fucking asking me to test out a game, and it's like, Sparky's not a game developer. He makes fucking art. He doesn't know how to do game development stuff, so it was like from there I kind
Mm-hmm.
of realized what was going on. I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's again. That's what I just detest. It's just these fucking hackers, these bastards, these folks that love to just get on people's accounts and then try to ruin everybody else, or find some way to profit off of everything, and just try to sell it back to you for like exorbitant fees, trying to get people to be the typical Indian scammer thing of like,
Yeah.
oh, you need to get the account back, you need to go to Walgreens and buy all these gift cards. And again, the idea is that they get that and then they resell it to like different places to just kind of keep the scam going.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, it just sucks because to think about, because like, what was I gonna say? It's just a fucking fact that it's like, it's such a sociopathic thing to do, just to fucking do
Mhm.
that to someone. To just, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just like pissed off about it.
No, it's fine. Yeah, you're not wrong because again, these people they thrive on the chaos. They enjoy inflicting these problems because in their mind it's just like trolls like Medicare, for example, who know they'll get no repercussions because they're relatively anonymous online, and then can keep pushing the envelope and going further and further and basically just saying things they would never admit to in a public setting, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a typical bullshit, and again, we've kind of, as like a society, and for lack of a better term, moved on from this sort of shit. But there are still those from like different places that are like, oh, it's still like this, it's still this, it's still that. You just kind of have to not even put up with it, but like find ways to just deal with it.
Yeah.
That's how it sounds, really. And, God knows it's horrible. But
I don't know.
again, that's
At the very least, Steam is just good with like helping you get your stuff back. So I think he should be fine. If
mhm,
it's just the problem with Sparky's a really gullible person. He's autistic like me, so it's like, you
right.
know,
It's easy to get him to agree to something that's not in his best interest.
yeah. Because I remember on voice chat, like on the other server that I'm on, a lot of people were just fucking with him, telling him shit, and he would believe genuinely every single thing they told him, and without like any sense
Hmm.
of understanding that they're just saying that shit to fuck with him. And I told them in DMs after, these guys are just saying this shit to fuck with you, that don't take it too seriously. Because I didn't
Right.
want, like, I don't want him doing something stupid, and it's like, now I wish I had, I wish I fucking told them about the scams. I wish I talked to them about this, because then this wouldn't have happened.
Again, that's why life happens for a reason. We learn from the experiences, and then we find ways to get around it. And again, Sparky's a smart kid. I think he'll figure it out, like
I hope so.
legitimately.
I hope he gets his account back. I hope he gets his stuff back and gets that fucking piece of shit that stole his account the middle finger.
Yeah. Because, hold on, someone's asking me a question. Bear with me a second.
Just downloading a couple of mods right now. The one I'm downloading apparently doesn't work anymore, but I'm going to try and launch it anyways, just on the off chance that it's just other people's problem. Because it has the Halo 2 Anniversary Marine Armor, and it's the only mod that has that for Helldivers. Because mods have to be constantly updated, right?
Yeah. Again, that's the general thing. Again, it's like modding with Fallout, but with Fallout, it's not too much of a problem per se. One of the big things I know that Kashyala, she specifically modded or used to mod. Which, by the way, I want to mention that too. I want your opinion on something.
Yeah.
A while, or very recently, I should say, there's someone who. Well, let me rephrase this. So I met her because back in the day when I used to do the show with my friend. Left for Random Talk. We came across this person called Shiala, and Shiala had this very straightforward sort of mod, which was the Mass Effect in Fallout mod, basically. And the idea was to kind of expand on the setting in the universe and basically give us the Take Back Earth sort of scenario, basically, but using Fallout as like a template. So what wound up happening is we spoke with her, and I was interested, and we became close friends as a result. Now, she's stopped compiling the mod for a while now, and this is because basically she just lost interest, the modding became more difficult, just small shit like that, and basically she was doing everything herself at that point, which again tends to happen. So she's stopped working on the mod completely. She's basically left it as abandoned there. And someone on the Nexus mods has decided to pick up where she left off, but has completely taken all of that mod and is kind of both republishing and adding to it and making it into something else called Mass Effect Universe, I think it's called. And she's got a problem with that because, in her, she's not happy with the fact that the mod is being like repackaged and re-released under its own thing and yada yada yada. She didn't really care. She did reach out to the person, but they never reached back out to her. Yada yada yada. And now she's thinking about taking the mod down via Nexus Mods takedown procedure. My question to you is: do you think that the person who has not only re-uploaded the mod but has also taken and added to it, do you think they have a right to, is this transformative enough, or do you think
this is such a weird dilemma? Because on the one hand, it's making the mod available to people that want to play it and appreciate the work done, but the original creator doesn't want the mod out and doesn't want it changed, so it's I don't know the fucking right answer here, because I'd love to play the mod, right? And if I couldn't, then I'd be sad, but if that's what she would want,
yeah, you see the complication here, because it's like, I get where she's coming from with this. This is a mod that she made and created and just gave up on it because it wasn't fun. And here's this guy kind of taking her work and republishing it. But it isn't just as simple as, I'm going to take your work and pass it as my own, because he's also adding other assets and recompiling things and basically taking other stuff but trying to make it all work together in Mass Effect. So he is taking from other assets from different places and shit like that, but in a way that he has technical know-how and is working with the tools he has. So the problem really becomes is how much of this is transformative, how much of this is her legal, quote unquote legal property, how much of it is his, where is the line drawn? I think for her, and I can do whatever. Hold on.
Yeah, your mic's cutting out a bit, but
yeah, it's my headphones are acting up. Where did I cut out at?
You were talking about the complication of it.
Right, because again, on the one hand, it's her mod, she can do whatever the fuck she wants with it. More power to her, and I respect that. But on the other hand, that also means that, she abandoned it is the big thing. And that means, she stopped caring about it, she stopped working on it, yada, yada, yada. Therefore, anyone has the quote unquote, I wanna take this mod and I wanna do that, I wanna do all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on. My microphone's doing weird things. There we go. So that there's the complication. And I don't know what to say, because again, it's like, where's the line drawn? Where can you say, oh, this isn't right, or oh, this is correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's a complicated situation.
Mm-hmm. It's not straightforward whatsoever. It's a situation where it's there's no clear good or wrong path forward. It is a case of, well, the creator still clearly cares about the creation, but also it seems a little selfish. That's almost like, I don't want this mod to continue, but I'm also not going about this the right way. Now, granted, again, I need to throw that caveat. She did reach out to the guy, and the guy never really responded. So there was an attempt to be like, hey, let's talk it out, basically.
In that case, that makes things a little bit, different.
Yes, but not by much, because again, the problem is, as far as I understand it, the guy doesn't speak English, he speaks Russian. So there could be a language barrier problem.
That is also true.
Again, you see that. Yeah, the complication of this whole matter is it's not cut and let me try that again. It's not cut and dry, it's not clear, it's not direct. There is moving parts to this, and very clearly, it's much more difficult than what we see here, basically. I'm of the opinion that if Shiala didn't care, or is okay with her mod, or doesn't want to do anything with the mod, then she gives up that creative control over it, and basically it's like, hey, I'm just done with it, I don't even want to bother with it. At that point, if she wants to dictate how the mod is done or whatever, then that's a moot point. It's like, to me, it's like the equivalent of a kid saying, I don't want to play with this toy anymore, and then somebody else gets and starts modifying it, and then that kid's like, oh, well, I want to use it now, or I want to stop you from using it because you're doing it in a way I don't like it.
Well, it seems like she does care then. It seems like she does care still, So
she does, to a certain degree.
When it comes to I don't know, because if she doesn't want anything to do with the mod anymore, but she doesn't care,
Yeah. Like I said, it's very it's not cut and dry. It's not what we typically see with asshole game stealers and things like that. It's very much like, this is a complicated matter, and I think there's a middle ground that can be achieved. I know Shai or Shiala well enough, but the issue is that she is very once she's got her mind set on something, it's very difficult to convince her otherwise. The
Destiny?
rightness of her cause. Yeah, exactly. Even if I point out all the shortcomings and all the flaws of Destiny 2 and everything like that, she will still fucking defend it because she has the sunk cost fallacy. She's invested too much time into it, and she won't let it go.
Yeah. There's a lot of, cases like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. I know a lot of people that are like that, but especially Rat Turd, the first time he hears something from someone, he'll instantly fucking take their word for it.
It's
and it's hard
like
to
I said,
convince him
it's difficult
otherwise.
not to see this. Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, we've had our disagreements before, like on and off. But when it comes to Destiny, she is stuck in. She will not budge on Destiny 2. She again cares a great deal. And again, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of something. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and shame her for like, oh, you like this game, or blah, 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 blah. You know, again, I get accused of being a Destiny fanboy enough that it's like Jesus fucking Christ, you know. But at the same time, it's a situation where it's like, I know she's not unintelligent. I know that she advocates for better stuff in games as well. You know, she does care. But it's strange to see her be okay with like Destiny doing the things it does to its player base and turning a complete blind eye to it all, to the point where you just sit there and go like, okay, there's you know, it's like, I don't want to say it's mental sickness, but it's like, you know, you've got something going on here.
Yeah.
That's saying something. Speaking of which, I should also mention, well, to kind of touch on this one last time. I think that for Destiny 2, or sorry, for this situation with the mod, I think these two have to hash it out. I don't think I can get involved in this and say like, oh, it should be this, it should be that. It's purely like, it's a problem between Shy and this guy. If they can come to an agreement or whatever, hey, that's great. But I'm not going to take sides on this one. Like I'm stay for once, I'm staying out of this conflict completely.
Yeah, I think it's just better to just stay out of it, let them do their thing. I hope they can come to a middle ground so the mod's not totally dead, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's mentioned that she's fine with like taking the assets and things like that. Like, you know, basically, if you want to do it, like it's fine. But she makes that basically. But it again. Anyway, speaking of Destiny, I also want to mention this. Destiny is you know, spoiler alert, Destiny is once again causing issues with its player base.
Oh my. Who could have seen this coming? Who could have seen this coming?
Exactly. In other news, water, wet. But to give the, as they say, to give the devil his due here for a second. Basically, the issues that the player base is having is that, well, basically, Bungie's trying desperately to nickel and dime its player base at every possible turn. And recently, what's interesting is that they are bringing back another zone from the previous game. Oh wow, that's so new and innovative, Bungie. You're bringing back a zone that we all played in Destiny 1.
I can't believe that they would do this. They brought back something that was already in the game before. Oh why?
Oh no, this wasn't in Destiny 1. This was in Destiny this wasn't in Destiny 2. This was in Destiny 1.
Yeah, I mean Destiny 1, you know.
Okay, sorry.
Before that
yeah, basically. Yes. So basically, to kind of give it context, there's a section in Destiny 2 called the Plague Lands, and what the Plague Lands are is, basically, to sum it up, Destiny 2 has this concept called SIVA, and what SIVA is basically, it's a what's the word I'm looking for here? It's a nanobot plague, basically, and when you get infected by it, it slowly destroys you and turns you into like this walking abomination, basically, right? So the big thing is that SIVA is... Well, let me ask you a quick question. Are you familiar with the concept of gray goo, by any chance?
No.
So what gray goo is, it's a scientific hypothesis that says that when nanobots break out of containment, they'll replicate and replicate and replicate until they become an amalgamous form of millions of little robots. that will overcome and consume everything, appearing as as a mobile mass of goo, basically. It's kind of like an apocalyptic event, basically. Here it's the same concept. It's Siva's become so advanced as a nanobot plague that it spreads over everything, contaminates and corrupts everything, and generally becomes a problem. Hold on. It becomes this massive problem. And the basic concept is that the plague lands were completely isolated because of the extreme threat. Everything was stopped because of the sacrifice of like the first guardian groups known as Iron Lords, blah 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 blah. So fans really liked the concept of Siva because it had never been done before. Like the biggest thing that Destiny had done was like the Taken King and all this shit, and people were really curious about like what would happen if a guardian, a being that's essentially immortal, gets affected by Siva. How badly would that go? Because a guardian is supposed to be all immortal, basically. So a lot of fans were interested. There was hints that Siva wouldn't really be gone. It would come back somehow, yada, yada, yada. For years and years, Bungie has teased it. They brought back weapons from, Siva contamination, blah, 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 blah. So now, finally, after several years later, they're bringing back the Plague Lands, and it is literally one-to-one the same map, except everything's dead. And when I say dead, I mean the Siva's dead. So when you went into the map originally, you would see things moving, like tendrils of wires and machines moving and constantly, like living things, basically. Now it's all just frozen and like stuck in place. And again, it's supposed to imply that Siva's dead, but it just looks like they didn't even want to bother animating half the shit. A lot of the old passages and things that you could like explore have been covered up by rocks and other debris, very lazily, I might add. Ooh. And it's just,
that sounds like
you're just
shit.
here again.
Also,
it absolutely is.
Shrek Snow in the chat says, I didn't think someone with the travel's gift could die until they did.
Yeah, basically. It was a big thing in Rise of Iron because up until recent, it's a lore thing. Basically, nobody believed Guardians could die, but then when it was revealed that they could die, it was that sudden like shock to the system that holy shit, the immortals can die. A big thing, basically. It's like witnessing the flood for the first time, like consuming a hunter, basically. It should be an impossibility, but if enough worms get infected, it can happen. So
shit.
Again, yeah. So basically, they bring it back, and they're reissuing the same armors and shit like that. And what a lot of people are getting angry about is that for years, let me rephrase that. They have this bad habit of giving you shitty free armor. So like very, very crappy looking, kind of like, oh, holy shit, I look like absolute turd in this outfit, right? But then they'll put all the cool shit behind the microtransaction store. And it's like, oh, you want to look like a badass? Well, you should wear this, and oh, it comes with these stats, and no, basically. And of course, people have been calling that out for years. Well, they've done it again. So one of the armor sets that were supposed to come out was a slight reworking of the original Destiny 1 armors, which were Iron Lord themed. And a lot of people were really excited about this because Bungie stated when this was all coming out, these armors would be free to be unlocked by playing the game. And then they, not even like a few months later, changed it without telling anyone and are trying to stick it behind the Eververse store, which is the microtransaction store, and have replaced it with one of their shitty armors. And they're asking $15 for this armor set.
For Iron Lung armor set?
For the Iron Lord stuff, yeah. The stuff that they promised was going to be free if you play the new stuff. It was a unlockable in-game reward thing. And like, nope, you're going to pay for it.
That's fucking horrible.
I know. And again, the theory has been that Bungie's doing this because they specifically want to, the running theory is that Bungie is doing all this because they know Destiny is dying. They know that the game cannot survive in this new ecosystem and the climate, thanks to things like, stop killing games and shit like that. So they're trying to drive the player base away as much as humanly possible. So when Marathon comes out, everybody will rush to play Marathon.
Who wants to fucking play that? It's fucking E-Girl Tarkov. That's what fucking Marathon is.
Exactly.
It has the ugly postmodernist fucking art style that we see in every fucking video game now, with the bright colors, ugly colors that don't match with each other. It doesn't even have anything to do with the original Marathon, aside from some book that nobody read or some shit like that. It's like, why would anyone who's playing Tarkov drop that game for Marathon? There's no fucking reason. It's the same reason why fucking 343's Halo has constantly failed.
Yeah, because there's better offerings everywhere, and nobody wants to play this junk, and for good reason. The main, again, and I've said this 100 times, I'll say it again. Marathon is Marathon in name only. It has nothing to do with the games that inspired it. It has nothing to do with any of this shit. It's just them trying to do an extraction shooter and are so far into that sunk cost fallacy that they have no choice but to commit to it. They've already dumped so much money into it. They've done this, they've done that. And again, to stop it would admit to their failure. And they don't want to do that. They don't want to admit that they fucked up with everything. So again, they're desperately trying to be like, oh, this and this, and, sticking with it, basically.
Oh, my. I mean, they already had to delay that piece of shit game.
And brought it back after they said, oh, we're just going to put it on indefinite hiatus, and they can't. So there's a bit more news with the Sony front of things. Basically, as I understand it, Sony is basically telling Bungie, yeah, no, we're done with this shit. They're dissolving Bungie's independent studio status and are going to be integrating it into other Sony stuff, basically. So the EA approach, essentially. So Bungie will still exist within the company, but they won't be the guys behind Halo anymore. Or, sorry, not Halo, Destiny anymore. And there's a good chance that Sony's going to try and recoup the loss any way they can. They'll either... I honestly believe that they're going to pull a Marathon and just kill Destiny 2 at some point. Just completely force the game to shut down. Probably do the same with Marathon. And just, do what they did with Concord. Just make it a tax write-off, basically.
Tax write-off, yeah.
I still find it hilarious that Concord has a dedicated fucking place in the Museum of Failure, by the way.
Oh, my.
It's like, who could have seen that coming? And I should mention this, the usual suspects are pissed about that.
Yeah, I mean, they can cope and sieve. They don't have any power anymore, and they never fucking will, because they can't win on an even playing field.
Absolutely not. So they are, as the kids say, cooked.
Yeah, completely fucked, for sure. Alright, so far I'm in the game. Doesn't look like anything's crashed so far.
That's good.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just a lot of funny little things. Again, the fact that Concord failed the way it did, all this sort of shit. It's just getting, juicier and juicier. We're watching, again, like I said, the shifting of the tide in real time as well. And it's just getting better and better. It's a shame that, it had to come to this, but at the same time, I'm not bothered,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they get what they fucking deserve. Actually, apparently, I should also mention this because it's hilarious. Elon has finally taken notice of Hassan and is trying to contact Jeff Bezos about him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Hassan's like, oh no, just I'm a little gay. I'm just like he's trying so desperately to run damage control and everything, and it's like everyone and their mother is chanting his fucking death, and he's paranoid. Ironically, when you think about it, he's essentially becoming the typical communist leader stereotype. He's been in power for a while, and now everyone is trying to pull him out of his ivory tower and then hang him by the noose.
No, I'm glad that they're actually going after them, because that's how you fucking. That's how. I'm glad that people are no longer just letting these people say whatever they want to say, like telling people, oh, we need to kill these people, put them on their blood on the street. Because that's how you stop their extremist rhetoric. That's how you stop them from doing this shit. You have to make them. You have to give them consequences for it.
Again, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequence. You will always be held accountable to the things you say. It's like, again, the equivalent of me coming to you and saying, I'm gonna fucking hit you, right? And then your response would be punching me in the face. I can't turn around and say, you're oppressing me, you're suppressing my speech. That's not the case. I had every right to say what I wanted to say, and you had every right to sock me in the nose. That's how it works. Or it's like the equivalent of telling to or screaming to a cop, "Oh, you're a fucking pig! I hope you die!" I'm saying the typical like talking points, and then the cop's immediate response is not to come to your aid when you're fucking bleeding out on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or taking extra time to get to you, and I've seen it happen too. Like, cops are just as vindictive as most people, It's like, it's not a good idea, and I keep saying this to people. It's not a good idea to piss off the people who you depend on for security and protection and tell them, oh, they're this, oh, they're that, oh, they're fucking pigs and shit.
They're trying to... It's funny, because, like, 1 second they're like, all cops are bastards, then the next they're like, please save me anytime they get put into, like, any situation, and then they'll fucking snitch on you, and, like, it's like, they're trying to pick this fight, they want to do a civil war, but there's, like, you do realize most of your enemies that you hate are in the military, are in police positions, while you guys are just fucking art hoes and teachers, and you're not gonna win this. You're gonna be stomped into the ground, and also most of them are fucking women. Men have, like, bigger body strength than women. That's a biological fact. So it's like...
Absolutely.
What type of fight are you trying to pick here?
Well, again, what it is, it's a typical...
and it's also that these people are very fucking self-destructive. They don't have kids because they get their babies aborted, or they do all this other shit, right? They do things that inherently make them weak and losers. It's like, they're so self-destructive. They're literally a death cult, like the fucking Covenant is. Like, I hate to fucking be that guy that's like, oh my god, it's like my hecking, insert IP here, but it's kind of fucking similar.
No, you're absolutely right, it is. And it's hilarious to see as well in real time. Oof, excuse me.
The fucking imaginary utopia that'll never come if we fire the Halo rings. That's exactly what they fucking want. And they also divide everyone by fucking race. They also fucking kill people if they speak out for different opinions, just like the Covenant does. They're labeled heretics.
Yes, excommunicado.
And then Shrek Snow says they should have used the old Marathon art style instead of plagiarizing art that's not even good. Also, I was quoting that bad line from the Destiny expansion your friend was talking about.
Yeah, that is a line from Saladin when you meet with him the first time, and he actually tells you the history, like a little bit of the history of the Iron Lords, which again is how you're supposed to do some writing when it comes to this shit. But hey, whatever. And no, I'm in agreement with him. The big issue, I think, with Marathon is, yes, it doesn't try to use the original art style. It tries, and fails, I should say, to crip the, what's it called? the the art style from somebody else. Literally, it was discovered that this art was stolen from someone else. So let that sink in. And basically, um, for lack of a better term, the whole thing is just trying desperately to be like, oh, it's this not even hipster, it's this like avant-garde, and oh, it's this, and ooh, look at this and look at that. And it's like it's bullshit. Legitimately, it's bullshit. There's nothing interesting, there's nothing remotely surprising about it. It's a fucking, how do I put it? It's a fucking okay. It's one of those artsy fartsy like college campus art pieces that does nothing, that says nothing. It's just some, again, hipster douchebags like, oh, I can't create anything that actually speaks to the wider audience, so I just did this instead, and you have to pay attention just like something this person did. And if you don't, I'm going to cry, and I'm going to go to Twitter, and I'm going to cancel you.
Yeah.
God, I hate these people. That's saying something.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like they fucking.
Yeah, there's not much to really say. It's just bullshit at the end of the day. Again, it's why Concord failed the way it did. Nobody wants to play these ugly ass characters. Nobody cared about it because there was nothing to it. There was no soul, no substance. The universe that they tried to create, nobody cared about.
Well, yeah, it's like, why would you care about their universe? It's just a piece of shit universe and no one has any interest in.
Exactly. Like, why bother with the setting? Why bother with this? Why bother with that? When it's all just flash and no substance, no interest, no intrigue, no, oh my god, this is so important, I need to look at it. It's just this, or oh, it's just that, or oh, okay, I see what it is. That was it. Like, and again, I'll give this, like, I'm not even going to say give the devil his due on this one, because not even the devil will want to touch this. But that's saying something. And no, I'm not talking about the gay ass one that fucking Vizzy made.
Oh yeah, fucking. Yeah, did you see my latest video when Ratturd was saying that he was gooning the Vizzy Pop?
No, but now I regret I didn't.
It's the latest video that I posted in the announcements. He was like saying that, like, at the very end of the video, he said, whoever loses has to tell an embarrassing story, right?
Oh god.
And he was like, I have a crush on Vizzy Pop, and I'm like, I thought you were joking. When you called me at like, he called me at like fucking, what was it? It was like 2 a.m., like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, telling me that he was like into Vizzy Pop and shit, and I was like, and I was so fucking tired.
I don't blame you. It's like, I want to go to sleep. Shut up. Okay. Yeah, the shit you don't expect, but hey, there it is. But no, no, I'm sorry. Like, it gets my goat something fierce when I think about that, because, like, again, what's the word? Source of all evil, being that was cast down from heaven. Biggest thing that bothers me about the design is he has no fucking nose, and that bothers the shit out of me. Like, everything else, I couldn't care more about, right? But it's the nose. It's the lack of a nose that makes me just sit there and go, like, why don't you have a nose? Why are you like this? Why are you gay and cringe? But mostly, why don't you have a nose? Like that again. Yeah, exactly. I'm just sitting there, just wondering, like, why am I so fixated on this? Why do I care about a character not having a nose? What is wrong with me? And then I remember my many issues, and I think, right, that's why. But no, I stopped. God, I'm also not happy it's getting apparently a second and third season, because why the Fuck not. It's not as if Invincible needs that budget, but hey, sure, whatever. Give it to this fucker.
Oh no, no. Oh fuck! Now I'm gonna have to deal with Raptor telling me about the show, being like,
it's just gooning.
oh my, gooning all day long. That's what I'm gonna fucking hear.
Yes. Just hold it over his head. It's like, I know what you're into, you sick fuck. God. Actually, funnily enough, someone they told me that the Hell of a Boss shorts got like put into Amazon, and apparently someone pointed something funny out to me that I couldn't stop laughing about. Apparently, there's a moment where one of the characters, I think, dresses up in some outfit. I don't know, but there's supposed to be a star effect within the outfit itself, and apparently this is an animation snafu from the animators in Amazon, where apparently they left the green screen effect on the cape itself. So he's just walking around with this like internal green suit. I'm like, oh my god, they literally cannot be bothered to do this right. They don't care. And I love it.
Oh my.
It's like that is the epitome of basically saying, I don't give a shit about this. I don't give a shit about your work. I don't care about this product. I'm literally here just to do my to get paid and leave. Again, that's just a little bit beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, Shrexno says, from what I've heard, Destiny has a lot of really cool world. Oh yeah, I'll start off with his Raptor comment. Raptor's voice sounds a lot like Mr. Plinkett from Red Letter Media, the people who did Star Wars prequel videos that spawned all the movie video essays.
Yes, which if you've never seen that, so basically how to address that, the Mr. Plinkett videos were basically kind of satirical, poking fun at generally the Star Wars prequel series and everything like that, and pointing out legitimate issues, but also blowing some of it completely out of proportion just for the sake of comedic timing and shit like that. And it kind of generated like a general dislike for the prequel trilogy, simply because of like what was happening. Now, granted, the dislike was already there, but it just kind of recrystallized that into a sharper focus, and people realize, oh shit, this is why it was bothering me. The thing about the Plinkett reviews is that, of course, the guy, Mr. Plinkett, is voiced by Mike Stoklasta, and he infamously talks like this and goes on to describe the characters and what they wear and things like that, basically. Very, very stereotypical, I'm speaking with a very clear voice and I'm reading from a script kind of shit. The funny thing about that is, I think what most people tend to know about and tend to use because of this is Mike's line reading of, quote, "Oh my god, what's wrong with your face?" And just using that ad nauseum to describe an ugly character. And it's hilarious, to be quite frank, but, neither here nor there. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, no, the whole video essay shit started because of that, and frankly, I can't forgive them. But to address the other comment, Destiny's world building. Destiny does have a level of world building that you don't see very often in other games, and that's mostly because the setting was clearly meant to be much more. But because Bungie got involved with Activision wound up gutting a lot of what they wanted to do for the world building, for the setting, for the characters, things like that. And so a lot of the story had to be redone, recut. A lot of the storytelling actually had to be put into what's the word? Oh my god, bear with me a second. The lore tabs and things like that, and that's where a lot of my issue comes from. But hey, neither here nor there. Just a lot of general problems of that nature. And the big thing about that was that from this specifically, you got a lot of what the world was like, the setting, the story, the concept, everything like that. And I'm not going to take Destiny's storytelling potential away. It did try to build a universe to expand on it. Then it continued into Destiny 2, and again, I'm convinced that the writing team for Destiny 2 and the lore team are at war with each other because very frequently the lore team will contradict things that the writing team sets up in the story, and then the writing team contradicts what the lore team sets up in their story. So it's kind of like what happened with what's his face, Ken Penders, and when he was having his little feud with other Sonic creators during the Archie comic run. Same thing. It became a race to see who could get to the story first before the other person did.
Oh my.
Yeah. It did not turn out well whatsoever. And it's the same just general problem. Just this constant back and forth, this constant issues. Destiny's lore has just been a complete and utter mess. Like, it's one of those lore situations where the game, it feels like the game punishes you for being invested, because they'll either address a character, they'll write out a character from a story, something will never come up again, just all these sorts of like minutia and minor problems and minor issues, and you just at some point you just become more and more frustrated with what the game has become and what the lore tries to say about its setting. You just stop caring, you stop being invested into it. Like, I think the moment I realized that Destiny 2's story, or Destiny's story, was not worth following was during Destiny 1, when I had my, I guess you could call it, awakening moment. And it was specifically when I went to read, I was on break at one of my jobs I had at the time, and I went to read some of the lore about the Hive, about the Hive gods, Oryx, all this sort of stuff. I was deeply invested in this, and I wanted to see where it would go. And so I started reading about the planet they come from, Fundament, the krill species that were the precursors to the Hive. How the planet is described as like, I think just partially like gas focused, but also had like other elements to it, and just all this sort of stuff, generally kind of like describing it. And I was reading into this, and then it just kind of clicked into my head when I read these detailed descriptions and about the planet and everything like that, how there's no ground, just ocean and atmosphere, and the higher you go, the more difficult it is to breathe and shit like that. It was at that moment I realized they're never going to do anything with this. I'm never going to see this in Destiny proper. This is nothing. And it was that realization that made me realize, why the fuck am I following anything about Destiny? And then it just kind of continued to snowball from there. I saw things from the first game that were completely retconned by the second. I saw lore being redone, reworked. It was just a constant kind of like tug of war about who the creators wanted to follow, what they wanted to do, who we should root for, who we shouldn't root for. I believe that in Destiny 1, they specifically mentioned one of the Bray siblings and how she was involved with Eris's team, how they went into the moon to fight the Hive, and how it specifically states that they killed the Bray sibling, and the creature that killed her consumed her light and things like that. It basically saying, yeah, this character is dead, but we're not going to go into details as to how the character died. And then, I shit you not, Destiny 2, its Warmind expansion, brings the character back as if nothing ever happened. She's completely fine, and, disregard that lore. It doesn't matter. It's like, thanks for a whole lot of nothing. This is what I mean. Why get invested in a story, or in a setting, or in a world, or anything like that, when the writers are just going to spit in your face and say, you wasted your time following this, oh, you shouldn't have bothered, oh, we're just going to take this character and rewrite them and redo them in a different way, yada yada yada. So again, it's a whole lot of why bother, essentially. And I mean it too.
Yeah. You had to go outside the game to look at these cards to learn about the... Yeah, that's the same case with fucking free shit.
Yeah, but it was a lot worse with this, because essentially you would go to their website and there were just these like novels upon novels of just pointless information you could learn about, like these bosses, this. It's like some of it would matter in the game, but a lot of it was just pointless filler. And again, I'm someone who likes lore. I'm someone who loves to deep dive the universe, especially if I care. I bothered reading the codexes in Massive about the setting, the races I encountered, because I gave a shit. But here in Destiny, this lore. Shit. There's this lore, and then there's that lore, and then there's this and that and this and that. Oh, you should follow this lore. Now you should follow that lore. Now you should pay attention to this. Now pay attention to that. Oh, now but this is going to get contradicted. Now this is going to get contradicted. Oh, you shouldn't have followed that. Oh, this character's back again because reason. It's like, it's obnoxious. And after a while, you just stop caring. You can't bring yourself to give a shit about the setting, about the characters, about the stuff you are being told. Hey, this is important. Hey, this is what you should follow. Hey, you know, all this shit. Because at that point, you're just wasting what precious time you have. Nothing. And again, that's saying...
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, my headphone's acting up. Sorry about that. It just... Again, if a game doesn't respect the player's time and treats the player like they're just some invaluable, disposable boob for the sake of it, that's not a game that cares about you. That's not a game that wants you to enjoy its time and go through it or anything like that. That's a chore. That's a game that basically looks at you, slaps you in the face, and says, fuck you for giving a shit about this setting.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. The Thief guys are just taking out the outpost for me. Nice.
Oh, yeah, they've... Arrowhead has been updating the Thief AI quite a bit recently.
I'm just trying to figure out where the fuck I have to put this shit.
So I'm also thinking... Hold on.
I knew it wasn't worth following Destiny 1 I remember... Strexo, you mentioned it. I remember fucking, Angry Joe's Everything's video. I remember those fucking videos, man. Just hating on that fucking Destiny game. And while I was fucking watching that, Billy Madison. That fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, today, Junior, I mean, me and my brother were watching it as, like, fucking little kids, and that was so fucking funny to us, but... Like, that's, like, I remember it was just, like, Destiny was, like, it was like, what a piece of shit game. Fuck, can't believe Bungie did this shit.
Mm-hmm. And there's really no other way around it, which, again, is the shame of it all. It's because, again, there was a very clear desire to make Destiny work. And you saw it with things like, what's it called? I'm trying to think of the right word here. You saw it with things like its original setting, what they intended to do with the characters, how this world and universe was going to expand, and all this stuff. And there was a legitimate feeling that Bungie cared and that the universe was bigger than what it was, and you know, you had that sense. And every time they did like promotional stuff and things in the game and trailers and all this sort of stuff, you know, like all the typical shit, there was this sense that they cared. They wanted you to experience the world and the setting. They wanted you to admire what they had created. There was this drive to see Destiny pushed forward and be the next Halo. Not as big as Halo, but you know, close to it as best they could. There was that desire for the game, and I say it with complete confidence. I believe they did care, but over time, gradually, the influences of Activision corrupted Bungie from within. The general decay began to set in. Activision began to gut everything that Bungie tried to do with the story and the game and everything. They just kept floundering and floundering and floundering and floundering to the point where there was never going to be anything that they originally created that was going to be saved into the future. And that's the worst of it all, is that you see a studio go from happy and excited and compassionate and caring and legitimately wanting to see this game succeed to just rot, decay, a slow, cancerous approach to inevitability. And it's soul-wrenching. It's heart, it yanks the heart out of your chest, and you just sit there and you have no choice but to just watch it happen in real time. And all you can think to yourself is, wow, I used to care about this.
Yeah. I mean, most of the original Bungie just got, destroyed,
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. So it's
Oh, absolutely.
the Bungie that made that game aren't the same Bungie,
Oh, absolutely not. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's the death of 1,000 cuts. It's horrible to witness a studio that a lot of people cared about, a lot of people loved, a lot of people wanted to see succeed, and then you just see it decay and rot and just die, basically. Again, I kind of, even though I've fallen out of 40K, a lot of the times I'll kind of reference some stuff from it. I think the most recent one, Kill Loop Recall, brings up a quote that I think pretty much surmises this quite well, which is, quote, "The death of fools, it tastes bitter."
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's incredibly, apt and apropos for what it is. And again, as much as I dislike 40K, what GW has done and how they're trying to make, the Imperium, they hecking bad guys, I still care about the setting to some degree.
Oh my god, they're hecking fascist guys, even though every other faction is worse.
Okay, let's break that down. Let's break that down for a second, because I think it's hilarious when people say this. Okay, so we've got the Orcs, literally a race that just lives for war, to the point that the term peace is non-existent in their vocabulary. The Tau, weeb communism. That's all I'm going to say on that one. The Tyranids, literal planet-eating monsters from hell. The Necrons, undead robots that view life as little more than a nuisance to be exterminated, and frequently experiment on life because they think they have a right to do so. And then the Chaos and the Chaos Gods themselves. Let me go down the list of that real quick. Nurgle, literally pox, pestilence, decay, and filth. You literally have to be disgusting and sick to join the faction. And if you stop literally drinking in pus and slurping up the bile of some grotesque fat guy, you're gonna feel the effects of every disease you've ever contracted, and you're forced to relive existence over and over and over again. Khorne, his followers are all about death, slaughter, and pillage. They literally do not care about life whatsoever. If you have the strength to claim a world, you can do whatever the fuck you want to the inhabitants. They will kill children for sport because they think it's their right. Let me throw that out there. Tzeentch and his followers, deception incarnate. They believe in the concept of knowledge should be hoarded and we should use it to trick our fellows. So they wind up taking the blame for something that we ourselves do. Because fuck you, Tzeentch is an undecisive mollusk. And Slaanesh, literally just Epstein to the highest degree. Sex, drugs, and God knows what else. Literally, there's no concept of consent. Rape is everywhere. Deal with it.
Oh my god.
And you want to sit here and say, "Oh, the Imperium of Man is fascist." I'm sorry. This is the only faction that is objectively good.
You know,
because it's actively trying to stop this shit.
that's the same thing with fucking Helldivers, because like I kind of bought into it too, because I was like, because then I kind of realized we have the automatons who blend human civilians who are innocent into fucking biojuice. Determinids would just destroy beautiful worlds and turn them into disgusting like hive worlds.
Mega colonies.
And then you have the Illuminate who are like zombifying humans, like destroying things. It's like, tell me again, how are these guys any better than fucking Super Earth? Oh, Super Earth is the reason they're like this, so they're justified. No, it's fucking not. This happened 100 fucking years ago. Like, I don't give a shit. I think Super Earth is way more better than these fucking, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I deep dove into the lore a bit more, and I need to. This bears mentioning. So, when the automaton threat first started, it was the cyborgs of Cyberstan.
Yeah.
And rather than just destroying the planet outright, Super Earth just dealt with the cyborgs, left the people alone, and said, "Yeah, don't do this again. Okay, bye," and left them. Why the automatons are a threat now is because the Cyberstanian citizens said, "Oh, we'll just start building machines. We won't cyberize." Oh, by the way, communism. There we go. The Tyranids, or Terminids, sorry.
Yeah.
I keep saying the wrong thing because it's so fucking easy. Terminids. The whole thing about them is, they're giant bugs. We've exterminated the hive lords. We dealt with this problem. We keep them around for resources. They cannot be reasoned with because they are literally are bugs and insects and animals. So, deal with that or take that information as you will. And then finally, you've got the Illuminate. Yes, Super Earth rejected their propositions for peace. Yes, Super Earth did not want to join their faction. And in response, they said, okay, we're just going to start wiping you guys out because fuck you. Now they've come back. By the way, again, they weren't exterminated. They were chased out of the galaxy and said, fuck off, this is our territory. Again, Super Earth let them go. That's the big thing. And what do they do? Oh, we're just going to come back with a small force now. And we're just going to take your civilian population. We're going to turn them into these squid things because Squid Games was amazing. And by the way, even though the propaganda says there's no consciousness in there, no, there is. Let me ask you a very important question. Whenever you fought a voteless, have you ever fought one alone and shot it by any chance?
I shot it in the head and I noticed it did the Super Earth salute.
Yes, so they are still very much aware of their existence, but they're in a state where they can't express it. So there are some voteless that when you kill them, they'll actually start freaking out and realizing, where the hell am I? What's going on? Far too late. Others will thank you for putting them out of their misery by doing the salute. And others will just die confused.
It's horrifying.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Like, I fucking hate them for that shit. Horrible.
It is. It absolutely is. And again, that's why I keep saying it's like every death that we deal with in terms of like the voteless and anything like that, it's like we should feel awful, but we should also remember that yes, we are saving them from a fate worse than death.
I feel bad that I've lit them on fire, but it's kind of like the Flood, because I think the Flood's kind of similar, where you're kind of conscious for the whole thing.
Kinda. I know that in one of the Halo books specifically, we did get to see like the point of view of like a flood infection and how horrible that was.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So again, they're in there, but it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, it's better to just kill them.
Oh, this isn't good.
Again, like I said, it's this constant bullshit of, why, this evil faction, this. It's like just sitting there ignoring everything else that's going on in the world. Ignoring everything else in the setting, all the shit. Again, is the Imperium of Man great? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. But again, they're the only faction actively trying to deal with chaos and trying to stop this shit. So unfortunately, they're the lesser of a greater evil. Now, granted, 40k, the whole point is there are no good guys. Everyone's just varying degrees of awful. But there are exceptions to this. And again, I'll point to that. Just pisses me off. Again, it sucks because there's some amazing writing in this shit. Actually, did I ever read a specific passage to you from...
oh, shit!
I believe it's Filtration. You good?
Okay, so I landed on a factory strider, and I decided to call a mech down.
Okay.
Well, I think it went well. I see the corpse of the factory strider over there. It looks cool. I'd stand and look, but... yeah.
I think he's having a technical issue because I can barely hear him.
So what was that excerpt you think you wanted to tell me about?
It was from I believe it was Betrayer, and it was specifically from the Drop Site Massacre, as it's referred to. It's famous for the express line of, "We deny you your victory." Let me see if I can find it, because I don't think I read this one. Hold on.
What the fuck?
Jordan and Hunter.
Hello, I think he's high.
No, I just finished work. Got off my show.
Nice, dude.
Alright, anyways, hey, since, Jordan, since you like games with sexy women, right?
Are you gonna tell me to play Ninja Gaiden again?
No, I'm going to ask you, how come you never played Marvel Rivals?
Because I don't like hero shooters. I don't like it when there's no physics. I'm not in control of when I can use my abilities, and it's on a stupid cooldown. If I want to fly with a character's jetpack, I want to always be able to use it, like in Halo Reach. But no, you have to use some cooldown and some special
Doesn't Halo
ability.
have cooldowns too?
It's in fucking
Doesn't
hero
Halo...
shooters. It's like 2 minutes or 4 minutes. All right, in fucking what? In Marvel,
You do the same thing in Halo games with armor abilities. No?
no, because it's a 15-second cooldown. It's not even that bad.
Yeah, same with the Marvel Rivals and other hero shooters.
Hero shooters have a much more,
Also funded by Tencent.
Have a much more... Well, there's more to that. Basically, hero shooters are... they have a tendency to make it more difficult for people to enjoy their abilities, fight, and things like that because of the balancing and things of that nature. So it's a bit more difficult.
Well, unlike other hero shooters, Marvel Rivals allows you to like fly infinitely, depending on the character.
Mm-hmm.
No, fuck. Marvel Soybles. I don't know. The Marvel brand is fucking toxic.
The game is based, and a lot of people, and the game is anti-woke as well.
Yeah, I've seen the receipts to that. It's just... It's China responsible for it.
Another thing, what was I gonna say? Hey, Hunter Rev, you know the only hero there's like one single-player game I know that plays like a hero shooter, but it's a single-player game. It's called Risk of Rain 2.
I know Risk of Rain.
Why can't we get more games like that, where like single-player hero shooters?
They exist. It's just more difficult to find it. That's all. Now here's the book. It was Bite of the excuse me, Estinia. That's it. I'm just trying to find a specific passage from this because it's rather, interesting. And my phone is acting up. Bear with me a second. Oh god. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for a few seconds to load this up. Well, the phone to charge, I should say. And then I'll just read the excerpt.
Are you gonna dress up as Master Chief for Halloween, Jordan?
Yeah.
You're gonna do trick or treating?
Well, I'm small enough to pass as a child, so.
Dude, you sound like a pedophile when you say that.
No, that's
You're
disgusting.
small enough to pass as a child.
I like girls who
Well,
are
you're
taller
going
than me. I
trick-or-treating.
would never do something like that.
Why would? Okay, I know. The way you said that made it sound like it. Small enough to pass as a child. I will never know.
But you can also say that for like trying to get like admittance for what's it called, to the movies by buying a child's ticket. Exactly. Think of all the benefits.
Hey,
Because
Jordan, what if you had a broccoli haircut?
Well, I'd have to have curly hair. I don't have that type of hair. I've gotten a lot of people who say I have really nice hair, so.
You
I've had
got
similar-
like, you got like hacker hair.
Hacker
Hacker
hair. I mean, I still have to get it cut. I don't like having long hair. It's such a pain. I'd rather have short hair.
it is. It's like, again, there's someone who has his hair in a ponytail can be right in the ass.
The only time I've ever put it in a
Hunter.
ponytail was for the cosplay at Fan Expo in Toronto.
Okay.
No, Hunter, what do you do for
What
work?
I work for the government. That's all you're going to get from me.
Oh, okay, so you're a vet. Got it.
Yes.
You hear that, Jordan? Hunter's a vet.
You're a fucking fed. You're the one asking us about, like, random fucking questions all the time that could get us incriminated.
Also, I love the
no
fact
one's
that,
gonna care.
again, Jordan's live streaming and you're on a bus or subway right now that just gave away where you're going.
Yeah. Okay.
And it just randomly says, I'll be back.
It's like
But
you
who does
realize,
he
like,
think
oh.
he is? The fucking Terminator?
Terminator. I love that that's where that immediately goes to, thanks to Arnie just being so known for saying that. It's like, I'll be back. Yeah, you will. Okay, it's charged enough to read this comfortably. So this is from, again, the excerpt from the Fight of Istinian. It is a Horus Heresy book specifically. So this is after the virus bombs are detonated over Isvan 3. And basically we're going to be seeing from the perspective of two Death Guard soldiers witnessing the event from their point of view. So let me go ahead and begin. Here we go. Terminator saw the warriors running towards him, dying on their feet. Figures fell to the mud as their corpses turned to a red broth of fleshy slurry, viscous fluid seeping from the chinks in their power armor. He knew he had dallied too long, and he shouted with all his might, "Close the hatch! Close it!" The men in the bunker did as he told them, even as he tasted blood in his mouth and felt his skin prickling with budding lesions. The metal door slammed shut and hissed with a pressure shield, locking him out. Terminator hoped that they had been quick enough. With luck, they would not have taken any of the virus inside with them. He managed 2 stumbling steps before he fell, the muscles in his legs singing with agony. Huron Fowl caught him. "I told you to run, you fool." The captain flung off his helmet with a final, agonized gesture of defiance. It was useless now. The virus moved effortlessly through the breather grill and into his lungs. His hand flayed at the metal flank of the dreadnought and traced a runnel of dark fluid. Even through the pain, Terminator understood. There was a small fracture in the old warrior's ceramite casing, not enough to have slowed him down on the battlefield, but more than enough for the virus to reach inside and ravage the dreadnought's hull, savaging the remnants of flesh inside. "You lied." "Veteran's prerogative," came the reply. "We'll go together, shall we?" Huron Fell asked, embracing Terminator's body to him, moving swiftly away from the bunker. It took every last effort from Temeter to nod. Blinded now, he could feel the tissues of his eyes burning and shriveling in his head, the soft meat of his lips and tongue dissolving. Huron'Fowl's systems were on the verge of shutdown as he stumbled to a safe distance, skidding to a halt. "This death," rasped the boater. "This death is ours. We choose it. We deny you your victory." With a single, burning nerve impulse, the mind of the warrior at the heart of the dreadnought uncoupled the governor controls on his compact fusion generator and let it overload. For a moment, there was a tiny star on the battered plains outside the Coral City, marking 2 more lives lost within the maelstrom of the murder.
Yeah.
And that's everything in this extra.
Oh my. I like it.
Yeah, again, the writing for 40K is always amazing, and honestly, I love it. It's got that hint of tragedy to it. Actually, let me see if I can find another not from the same book, but from another one. Let me see. What was his name? I think it was, yes, Barabbas Dantiok, that was his name. So to give, hold on, what's the word? To give context to this, Dantiok is known as an Iron Warrior, and an Iron Warrior is basically a traitor, or used to be an Imperial soldier type within a specific legion. But the entire legion turned traitor when their gene father, Perturabo, turned on the Imperium as a whole. Their analogous rival chapter is the the Imperial Fists, and the Imperial Fists are basically everything that the Iron Warriors are not. Iron Warriors are all about sieging, attacking compounds, bases, basically trying to assault fortifications. Imperial Fists are all about vast defenses, massive structures, preventing the enemy from breaching a defensive line, basically. If the Iron Warriors are the battering ram that brings down fortresses, then the Imperial Fist are the shield that holds everything in place, basically. That said, there was only one Iron Hand that didn't turn traitor and remain loyal. His name was Barabbas Dantiok. And as penance, he chose to enlist his services to the regional governor and tasked with protecting one of the fortresses that they had alongside an Imperial Fist called Captain Licinius. And neither of them trusted each other. They had every reason to hate one another simply because of their legion standards. However, Dantiok proved himself in battle time and again that he had no intention of betraying the Imperium. He still adored the Emperor, cared about the people, everything about that, and it even surprised the captain to the point where he actually viewed him as a dear and honored friend. Unfortunately, during the assault of the Pharaohs, which is the name of the location that they were defending, I believe it was the Night Lords, another faction of Space Marines, that attacked the fortification and brought it down. And in this process actually wound up, well, they bled quite a bit, but they wound up getting Barabbas and actually harming him onto death. The excerpt I'm trying to find is that exact moment where he imparts his final words and, excuse me, what happened exactly, essentially. I'm trying to specifically find that. If I can't, then I'll find something a little bit more interesting, because it's more interesting. Oh. Let's see here. Okay, yes, it was the excerpt of Pharaohs. Here we are. Quote. Let me begin. By the way, the captain's last name is Pollux. Pollux struggled to his hands and knees. The pain spikes were so much junk. Like everything else in the room, all the illumination in the chamber was dead. The sun was over the horizon, and the light of early morning shone through the aperture in the primordiary highlight, primordiary, highlighting curls of smoke. Shakily, he got up. He plucked the wrecked spikes from his, interface ports and shattered his bonds with his emperor-given strength. He limped through the wreckage-strewn turning floor towards the still form of the warsmith, his friend. "Brother Dantioch," he said. "Barabbas!" He cradled the warsmith in his arms, and hope bloomed in him. Dantioch lived for the moment. The Iron Warrior's mask lay on the floor, and so Pollux looked upon the face he had never seen. Dantioch was older than he expected. Lines of pain were etched into his scarred face that nothing could erase. His eyes opened. They moved sightlessly, blinded by the intense flare of the Pharaohs. "Alexis," he whispered. "I am here, Barabbas." The warsmith clutched at the arms encircling him. "I never thought to call one such as you friend," he smiled. "You are my friend, Barabbas, and my teacher. I am dying." "You will live," Pollux said fiercely. Dantioch shook his head. Pollux wished he had water to give him, anything. His croaked voice became insistent. "Listen to me. I saw such things in the light. This war is only the beginning." He swallowed. His throat clicked painfully. "The beginning of the end." Dantioch gasped and settled back, his strength finally leaving him. "But I am glad, Alexis. I'm glad to have been. I'm glad to have known you. It is something that friendship can exist at all in this universe of terror and betrayal. Quiet now. You must save your strength." Dantioch's scarred mouth cracked into a smile. "I have no strength left. I have done my duty, and I am no longer ashamed." His back arched in pain. He gasped. "All hail the Emperor of mankind, still beloved by all. May his dream be saved, even if we cannot." A long, rattling breath escaped him, and his face stilled. Dantioch's body went limp in Pollux's arms. "Barabbas!" cried Pollux. "Barabbas! Brother!" He bent his head and wept for his enemy, his friend. Tenderly he crossed Dantioch's arms upon his chest, as befitted champion of the Legion who had fallen in service to the Imperium. The warriors of Ultramar would find Pollux there, hours later, his head still bowed in mourning. Several hours later, after being found by Guilliman and the Ultramarines, Seizuring Guard came to him carrying a bier. They made to raid Dantioch off, but Pollux stopped them. "No," said Pollux, softly but dangerously. "None shall touch him. I will carry him, for he was my brother." Dantioch's funeral. Upon the stone steps lined by invectorious Caesarines, they filed. Through the broken gates of redoubt, thence to the wider platform surmounting the top. At the far end, away from the gun emplacements and nested arrays of astronomical instruments, was a pyre of dried quick-tree wood. Atop it, his armor battered but his face serene, lay the body of warsmith Barabbas Dantioch. Guilliman stopped by the pyre, his great stature allowing him to look upon the dead warrior. "You have not replaced his mask," he said. "It was a symbol of his shame," said Pollux. "He wore it as a constant reminder of his legion's betrayal. He no longer has anything to be ashamed of. That he does not." Guilliman held out his hand. Captain Casimir placed a golden torch into his grip, a hot flame burning true in the horn in the end. Guilliman pressed it to Pollux. "The honor should be yours. My lord, if it pleases you, it would be far greater honor done to Barabbas if it were you, the mightiest of the Emperor's sons. who sends him on his way. Very well, said Gilliman, nodding in deference. With a crackle of parting wood, he thrusted the torch deep into the quick tree pyre. They stepped back as the fire caught, tongues of flame curling around the body of Dantiok, blackening his armor and licking at his scarred flesh amid the pillars of scented smoke that carried heavenwards. "Company!" bellowed the foremost of Gilliman's guard. "So passes Dantiok, hero of the Imperium," they roared, and discharged their bolt guns. The weapons boomed as they launched their projectiles, the propellant igniting and sending them fizzing into the sky, banging against as they reached the sound barrier. "So passes Dantiok, hero of the Imperium! So passes Dantiok, hero of the Imperium!" The sky darkened. The pyre of Barabbas Dantiok bathed his comrades in heat and light. The last rays of the sun struck the Pharaohs, red beams glowing in the cave mouths of flank and peak. No return light shone in reply, nor did it ever again. The song of the mountain was done, and night fell on the Imperium Secundus of True.
Oh my. That's a funeral.
Yes, the Imperium honors its warriors and champions in this manner, oftentimes deciding to embolden them and place them within such things. For Barabbas, an Iron Warrior, it is a great honor, and to be essentially given his final rites by way of literally one of the sons of the Emperor is no higher honor that can be had. If anything, he died with his ideals intact. Now, not retaliation, in quote to this, there is another small excerpt I want to read as well, specifically in regards to a Traitor Legion and their situation, a situation in terms of internal politics. So, to kind of give this a general context here, the excerpt I'm about to read is from the book Betrayer, and specifically is in regards to the champion of the World Eaters, Karn, having been told that his best friend had been killed, specifically by a man called Erebus, who believed, because he has the ability to see the future, that by doing this he would become the greatest warrior of the Word Bearers, which is another traitor faction. So the excerpt we're about to go through is essentially Karn having his, well, I think it's best if I just read it to give you an idea. Excerpt begins. Let's begin this section. Erebus bowed to the crowd, facing the applause of fists thudding against bare chests. The deactivated Crozius in his hand was flecked with blood, first blood. And ever the dignified victor, Erebus offered a hand to help Skane up from the deck. The sergeant took the pro-offered hand, gripping it with his new augmetic link. "A fine bout," the first chaplain said. The World's Eater still hadn't had his throat mechanics repaired, leaving him speechless, but he grinned and nodded in place of words, and moved back into the crowd. Delvaris stepped forward. So did Karn. The crowd, on the edge of cheering at the first warrior, fell silent at the sight of the second. The captain said 2 words to the Triary Centurion. "Let me." Delvaris saluted and backed away. "The first blood?" Erebus asked. The axe in Karn's hand was Gorechild, toothed by Mica dragons, once thrown from the hands of a Primarch. He chained it to his bare wrist in imitation of the Nucerian gladiators, whose bones he had seen and honored mere days before at Deshikala's Ridge. The captain was stripped to the waist, as were all the warriors present. "Sanguinis extremis," Karn said. Some of the crowd breathed in, showing their shock as the humans they once were. Others laughed or cheered. More fists beat against chest. Erebus regarded Karn with a cold, composed eye. Several seconds beat in silence before the world bearer's lips curled into a soft, indulgent smile. Bold God, are you sure? Gorechild revved for the first time since its rebirth, eating air with a throaty snarl of an apex predator. That interruption was the only answer Karn would give, and Erebus raised his crozier in reply. Come then. 3 blows. The first, Karn smashed the maul aside with the flat of his axe. The second, he cannoned a headbutt into Erebus's nose, breaking the cartilage with a wet crutch. The third, Gorechild tasted first blood, ripping across the chaplain's chest, carving a canyon of flesh over the dense subdermal armor of the warrior's black carapace torso implant. All of this happened in the time it took Erebus to blink. No one could move as fast as Karn. No one human, and nothing mortal. The chaplain threw himself backwards, Crozius up high on guard. Karn walked forwards, gunning Gorechild's trigger. The crowd was silent now. This was a Karn they had never seen, not even on the fields of battle. Another 3 blows, delivered with the same blinding speed. Erebus's maul clang skidded across the deck. He took a fist to the throat and a boot to the stomach, knocking him back with enough force to send him crashing onto the bloodstained iron grillwork. He looked up at Karn from the ground and saw his death in the World Eater's eyes. He had never seen this before, not in any of the paths of possibility. It couldn't be happening. It couldn't end like this. He was Destiny's hand. Karn looked down at him, clearly allowing time for the chaplain to recover his Crozius. Get up. Erebus rose, mace in his hand again. He attacked this time, showing the speed and skill that would have allowed him to hold his own against Lucius of the Emperor's Children, and Loken of the old Luna Wolves. His Crozius trailed killing lightning, buzzing furiously as it thrummed through the empty air again and again. Karn weaved aside from every blow, quicker than a blink, surely quicker than any muscle could ever allow. Their weapons crashed together. Karn parried the last blow. Erebus expected accusation in the World Eater's eyes, or surely anger. He saw neither. Worse, he saw a bored indulgence. The captain even sighed. 3 more blows. Erebus was on the deck before he knew it. Pain flared across his chest, hot and urgent, matching the thick throb of his smashed face. He reached to touch the wound with a hand that was no longer there. His hand. His hand was on the deck, severed several meters away. Blood leaked from the chewed veins. Yes, again, he didn't even realize he lost the hand. Where was I? Chewed veins nestled in the meat of his severed limb. Turning unbelieving eyes downwards, he saw where his arm now ended, at the wrist. Going to need an augmetic for that, Cargo said from the crowd. Several warriors laughed, a few with any relish. They were too fascinated by what was unfolding. Erebus looked up at Karn again. He was just waiting. Get up. The chaplain rose. Karn didn't wait this time. The blows were bloody blurs of whining motors and tearing chain teeth. Pain boomed across Erebus's body, and he was face down on the deck again before he managed to fully rise from the last time. Even without his armor's pain nullifiers and chemical stimulants, Erebus suppressed the pain by whisper chanting a sacred mandala. Karn interrupted it. Get up. Erebus actually tried, but froze when he felt Gorechild's teeth against his spine. The idling chain blade was purring and breathing out its Promethean fuel stink. The axe's stilled teeth kissing Erebus's vertebrae. Never, not in the fragmentary glimpses, had he ever foreseen this duel. It couldn't end like this. He couldn't die here. There was still so much to do. Sanguinis Prime, Terra herself, and all the 10,000 futures Erebus had seen himself fighting the long war to the very end. The very same second Erebus reached for the ritual knife at his belt, with his remaining hand, Karn pulled the trigger of the chain axe's weapon. The trigger of the chain axe. There should have been a scream. Everyone expected it. Excuse me. Everyone expected. Let me rephrase that. Every warrior present waited to hear the first chaplain of the Wordbearers shriek as Gorechild bit into his flesh. But there was nothing beyond the rotating whine of an axe blade chewing empty air. No one seemed surprised at the display of Wordbearer sorcery. Even fewer were surprised by the cowardice. Karn turned from the blood marking the deck, leaving the circle without a word. So what's the lesson here? Don't fuck with Karn's friends or he will fuck you up. That's saying something. I want to mention this as well. This is before Karn is corrupted, by the way. If you didn't know, and this is something that's kind of fucked for the world eaters specifically, they have something called butcher's nails implanted into their heads. What this is it's a torture device. Remember in Mass Effect how Jack mentions that whenever she killed, they would flood her system with drugs?
Yeah.
Same thing. The butcher's nails tear into the brain matter and the skull of the victim and inflict intense, ever-present pain if they're out of battle. The only time the nails are abated is if, the subject kills someone. Then they stop burrowing into the brain. Karn and many of the World-Bearers chose to honor their Primarch by doing the same thing, inflicting the same pain that he goes through on a daily basis. Karn, specifically, however, takes to the nails all too well. Yet, where this has driven almost all of their legion mad by the time of the Horus Heresy and, further into the betrayal, Karn is one of the few individuals who are still sane enough to actually talk and communicate with others. Simply because his will is so much greater, and apparently he has an active kill counter in his helmet's visor display. So he focuses on the number and the amount of people he's murdered to distract from the intense pain. Again, this is before all that. He has the nails in his head, and yet he has enough wherewithal to withhold himself and torture Erebus and, essentially humiliate him in front of everyone. Deservedly so, I might also add.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this is what I mean about the writing about these books. It is quite good, and I do recommend at least reading some of the 40k novelizations they have out there. It's some pretty damn impressive stuff. Ignoring the bullshit that GW is doing now, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Can't have nice things. Gotta separate the art from the artist because God knows you can't enjoy shit anymore. Ugh. Unfortunately, they're also desperately trying to. They're doing the woke shit where they're trying to make everyone equal, and it's not working because 40k has very clear rules as to what you can and cannot do. Basically, women can't be space marines because.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Someone made some fat space marine looking thing, and someone made a photo of this anime girl just kicking her down.
Yeah. That's exactly, yeah. That was my favorite. So, women can't become space marines because the gene seed needs to specifically attach itself to certain protein chains that the male human body can make, mostly testosterone and things of that nature. Which, as we know, while women can have, they don't produce it as intensely as men do. So the main thing is that while women can't become space marines, they can become what are known as sisters of battle, and these are miniaturized versions of space marines. They're not as durable as them, but they're also given some privileges, luxuries that space marines don't have. For example, they can retire at some point and just run churches on their own, essentially. They can leave the service at any given point. them, you know. But no, they're trying to make that a thing. They're trying to say, oh no, they're female space marines, you know. It's like that's not a thing. Stop it. So tired of this shit. Legitimately, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, me too.
It's just, again, what frustrates me the most is that you have something that has very clear established rules, and then they just try to rewrite it and be like, oh no, we want to do this, we want to do that. It's like, nobody gave a shit about, like, female space marines. Only you gave a shit about this shit. And when I say you, I mean, like, you know, the creators and shit like that. But, you know, most people, you know, most sane people don't give a shit, and lower guys like me just roll our eyes and go like, yeah, no, we're not dealing with this shit today. That's saying something. And speaking of 40k, I also do tend to point to this as, like, again, it's characters like Karn, like Barabbas, and, you know, many of these individuals that I point to is, like, we should strive to be like them, essentially. You know, not giving our convictions, giving up our mental, you know, like, actually sticking true to what we view as ideals, basically. And again, I think I've probably mentioned him at least a few times before. Sebastian Yarrick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
50-year-old bastard still fighting orcs to the point where they actually fear him. What I wouldn't give to have a reputation like that. Oh well. A man can dream and hope. But yeah, anyway. Let me see what else we can mention. I don't really have any other excerpts we can follow at this moment, since I think we just basically went through all of them.
Yeah, it's alright.
Again, I would if there was, I'd just start doing just obscure shit, and it's like, nah, let's just keep it focused. Again, the general issue with 40k novels is that you really have to, I'm not going to say scrape the bottom with the dregs or anything like that, it's just, there are some novels that are good, some novels that aren't great. There's an infamously horrible one called Inquisitor, which, again, was written during a time period when 40k's lore wasn't fully established, so there's a lot of contradictions with the current 40k stuff, to the point where in-universe, they joke and say, we don't know if this is enemy propaganda to demoralize our troops, or if this is actually like just an account. Either way, we should it should be discredited to some degree. But the book is infamous for many questionable things. Basically, it's, for lack of a better term, it's someone's furry kink, essentially. Yeah, so again, this was before the Terminids or Tyranids. Fuck, you see what I mean? It's very similar. It's very easy to make that mistake. But basically, to kind of break it down, there is the Inquisitor, which I think is like something Jock. I forget the rest of his name, and frankly, I don't care. But his whole thing is, he's a Inquisitor. He's here to investigate like a alien bug infestation, and he's also working with one of the. There's an order of assassins within the Imperium, and they use something called polymorph, which is a form of like genetic augmentation that lets them take on any shape they so choose. She specifically, to infiltrate the hive, gives herself a polymorph that turns her into, like, and I kid you not, a voluptuous Tyranid, and she's sent to do whatever she has to. But it's heavily implied that Jock fucks her in this form at some point.
What the fuck?
Yes. Again, I need to explain this as well. There's a reason why we don't have sexual relations with the Xeno, and it's also because there's something called the Gene Stealer cult. Have you heard about this or heard about like something similar to this at any point, or like heard mention?
No. Oh, looks like the Sea Troopers did all the work for me. Let's go.
It's like, yay! So basically, to give a bit of context, let me see if I can find it. So, the term... Okay, keep making the mistake. I'm just gonna, again, say space bugs. So the space bugs are basically part of a greater consciousness, basically. So at the very, very edge of the 40K universe, there is a mass of gigantic teeth and maws basically coming. It's like the central consciousness of this species. And it's here, basically, it's going to eat the entire galaxy if it's not stopped. So as part of this invasion, it sends these hive fleets to attack, and much like the Terminids, they fly in and start conquering planets and yada yada yada. Basically, they'll destroy it and eat all the life in it, and etc. etc. However, if it's a planet that has an established human population, or a population in general, and it isn't as easy to invade, what they will do is they will send a specific type of space bug down to the planet, and this creature is known as a Gene Stealer. Now, what a Gene Stealer is an extremely and hyper-intelligent space bug, and it gets its name because it is capable of taking genetic material into itself and replicating it with other species. This is what creates what is known as a Gene Stealer cult. And the Gene Stealer cult is mostly controlled by the Gene Stealer itself. And this creature is often referred to as a patriarch. These cults are, by extreme technical definition, fuck cults. Because essentially, the Gene Stealer patriarch will have sexual relationships with the females of said cults to continue the species and propagate a subspecies of space bug.
Oh.
Yes, and it's as horrible as it implies. Everyone who's usually affected by a Gene Stealer in this way have genetic deviations. Higher psionic capabilities, multiple arms, depending on the genetic exposure, bluish purple skin, etc., etc., etc. Now, they are completely fanatical to the Gene Stealer cult. They believe that the cult will, They believe that the cult will overthrow the local government, that they will be given an opportunity to live as they decree, basically the typical leftist bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But it's all a lie. What will happen is that as the cult grows in power and overcomes the local defenses, and once it reaches a specific biomass of numbers and individuals, then what will happen is that the patriarch will send a psionic signal out and attract one of its fleet that it originally came from. And then from there, the Gene Stealer, the Tyrannid fleet will come in and begin the invasion. Now the thing is that they don't distinguish between the local fauna and the hybrids, and they will eat them as well. A lot of times it's often described from the manuals and things like that too late do they realize the truth of their enemy, and that they are all the same thing: food. So yeah, that's why again, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't care about the Gene Stealer cults. I think, hey, fuck it, if you want to do you do you, basically. But no, once you draw in the Tyrannid fleet, you just all get eaten. Because fuck everything, I guess. So yeah. Moral of the story: don't listen to leftists. They will eat you alive.
Yeah, that's essentially what they are.
Yes. Well, again, there's a reason why when the infestation was attacking the 40k community, people called them feminids, basically, because they acted the same way as Tyranids do. Infiltrate, overrun, destroy everything. Basically, same playbook, different species, basically.
Yeah. That's pretty much
Yeah.
what it is.
Oh, absolutely. The only difference is that there's no weird sex cult thing going on. That we know of.
Yay, I helped liberate the city to 100%.
Yay! Just little confetti poppers go off, and everyone's like, "Yay!"
Even though, I don't know, I played as a female character, so that means I have weaker health, so I died.
Oh well.
Yeah, so
It's
you
like,
may notice that the character has a bit better butt, right? Because I have better female body type mod on, so...
A good mod that everyone should have, frankly. Honestly, I've always been a proponent of, like, if you're gonna do some lewd stuff with, like, the models and shit like that, I've always been a person that's been like, okay, fair enough, if you want to make the women sexy, I demand that the men are also sexy too. Everybody gets sexualized by me.
It looks like we
It's
can't
like,
even go to the city anymore either, because we liberated it. Oh my.
Well, it makes sense. Why go back to the city if it's been, if it's been liberated? I mean, it kind of sucks because it's like I would like to see the rebuilding efforts, but I guess they don't let you do that because why go back and well, it's more assets. But then again, we're talking about Arrowhead, the people who add in insane amount of detail to everything they do. Like, have you ever seen or done like the first person shooting on some of the guns?
For the Halo
okay, did you know?
Especially.
Okay, so some of the guns, and I kid you not, if you specifically, I'm trying to think of the right word here. If you specifically use something like a revolver or like anything that has like shells or magazines on the side.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I heard something.
Well, yeah,
shells or magazines.
Screaming in the other room.
Oh, okay. I hope he's fine. So if you ever seen like a weapon that has like magazine reloading and things like that, or like has like rounds on the side or things of that nature, one of the big things about that is that, believe it or not, the weapon will actually, if you run out of your reserve magazines, then the weapon or the rounds that you have on your main weapon will actually start getting used in place of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, I fucking love it when they do that, because it shows a great degree of, like, they give a shit, they care about the game, they actually want to see it succeed and progress, and, actually give a shit about the game they're doing.
Exactly.
Which, again, it surprises me that it's like, oh yeah, they do this, but no, like, big companies can't do this with their games because, oh, it costs too much. No. It's like, fuck you at that point.
Exactly, it's just bullshit.
Well, we don't want to do the work. We don't want to do this. We just want to be lazy pieces of shit. All we want to do is just whine on places like Twitter and social medias and just blah 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 blah. And that's it. That's all it ever amounts to. It's just whining and complaining about all the, oh, it's so bad that the gamers have standards. Oh no. Exactly. That's all it is. Oh, God. I can't wait for the day when they're just all replaced by robots, honestly. I mean it too. It's like, just fuck off. A chimp, a mentally retarded chimp could do your job better.
Yeah.
That is extremely sad.
Someone randomly joined on me for some reason.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna have to do this solo.
Fair enough. Sorry, I'm just testing something here. I'll leave that as is. That. Get rid of that. And that should do it. Okay.
Oh, this is what this planet is.
Let's see if this works. I doubt this is going to work if I do it like this, but fuck it, let's see. Yep, no. Get rid of that. Okay, let me see here. Alright, actually, what time is it? Okay, not too late into the evening, that's good. Let's just keep testing and messing around with a few things here and there. Let me see. Okay.
Oh, fuck. That's a factory strider. Ooh, 10 kills.
God, why?
What's happening now?
Oh no, I'm just fucking around with a model from Call of Duty, and it's just, it looks good, but it's fucking ass to pose, and everything's not lined up properly, because why would anything cool ever work as intended?
Exactly.
Of course, even the fucking legs are weird. Okay, whoever reported this, I'm just going to give them all sorts of hell. Let me see, do I have the... I probably better don't care. What else did I get? Yeah, no, just a lot of junk. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to stick with this and just kind of leave it at it. Just ignore my issues with it. Alright. Anyway. Let me see. Oh yeah, the Fallout show's coming out soon. Or the season 2, I should say. Oh, goody goody. Ugh. Sorry, I'm just a little annoyed by that show and all the shit they're doing with it.
Yeah, I hate Hash Brown Hotel.
That too. It's, again, my issues are with the fandom and what it spawned, and again, I've probably said this 100 times on every stream, and I'm just gonna keep saying it. The fandom is one of the worst things I've ever had to deal with, and just this constant shit of like, oh, these characters, this is so great. It's like, can you fucking not? Ironically, I found out something while I was cleaning my home yesterday. Because every Monday around here we had to just get the garbage out and shit like that. So I was just getting everything sorted and, you know, getting ready to pull the garbage out, and then I find something in the garbage bag as I'm getting upset. It's a drawing of fucking Alistair, and I know for a fact I didn't do this, so that means my sister did it. and she wasn't happy with it, so she threw it out. And all I can think to myself is like, this is where you belong, in the trash. Could this work? Oh yeah, I can't even. Oh my god.
That's something.
Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Oh wait, I can't. Okay, I'm gonna hit this thing. I swear to God, I'm gonna hit it.
I wouldn't blame you for doing so.
It's just again, it's like one of the things where you just sit there like, I'm going to do violence upon you. I swear to God. Now that I've said it, the machine's acting fine. It's like, oh no, don't hurt me. Actually, you know what? Because I haven't looked into it, I'm gonna check on a series I've been watching on YouTube and see if they've done anything else with it, or if they're still just pissing around. Let's see. Undead House. Alright, let's see. Okay, here we go. Source. Black Hand, Prophecies, The Herald, that's 1 month, 2 months. The house built on hatred backs. Hatred's back. Okay, that's set for the 17th, so that's tomorrow. Okay. I wonder if anyone's saying anything. This is sound. I hate that I'm so invested to ask and to draw mark. But okay, sorry, I'm just looking at this. You know what's kind of sad?
What?
There's this. So, I'm a fan of something called the Legacy of Kain games. It's a little vampire thing I like to look into and things of that nature. And one of the original creators of the series, Silicon Knights, is basically announced that they would be doing a spiritual successor to that game in the form that it was called Dead House Sonata. But the problem is that hasn't materialized. And they used to do this, what's it called? To promote the game, they were doing these journal entries by one of the characters that would be in the setting, basically, Alaric. And the idea is that this was supposed to build hype and world build and stuff like that, right? And the issue now is that when it comes to Dead House, they realize that people are just tuning in to listen to Alaric and the world and the setting. So they've strayed away from the game because apparently it's stuck in development hell, which doesn't surprise me. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I mean in the general sense of I'm not surprised. It is an independent studio now. But because they know that they can't just do visuals with no animation, and because the boom of the AI shit has become what it is, they decide. Hold on. Decide to just make AI with, AI visuals, and they just said, "Fuck it, we're just giving up on this." And it sucks because I'm invested in this shit, but I'm also angry about what they've done. I'm just disappointed. That's the best way to really put it.
Yeah, I understand that. It sucks.
Mm-hmm. It's I would like to speak with them at some point and tell them hey, this, that, and yada yada yada, and blah 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 blah, blah. And just kind of get some confirmation or something. It's hey, listen, people care about this shit, or they used to care. I'm sure it wouldn't be too difficult to get programmers or literally anyone to help at this point. But I don't know. Frankly, I'm just defeated at this point. I just given up on ever seeing this game become a thing, and I'm just sticking to the fucking audio stuff, and I'm not getting too serious into it, but I'm just leaving it as it is.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry. Again, I'm not trying to bring down the mood or anything like that. It's just, again, you just, when you look back on something, you just become so demoralized. But hey, you know what is.
I understand it. I know you're not trying to bring down a mood. Like, it sucks that has happened.
Mm-hmm. Oh well.
Just an unfortunate, problem with the industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a lot of rot and problems within, and what we've seen. I mean, hell, again, with all this shit happening in the world now, and all the idiots who are coming out saying, "Oh, it's great this happened," and then just immediately getting retributive karma. It's just funny. Hell, even one of the, unfortunately, a Sonic art director for the new Sonic Racing game, did this too, and now apparently she's going to lose her job as well. So,
You know what? I'm not surprised though, considering Ian Flynn's politics.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm surprised he hasn't said anything stupid. I guess he realized how risky it was. So he's like, you know what? I'm not going to risk my little kingdom. I'm just going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. Like a true cuck.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty in the Sonic community celebrating because that community's full of that fucking rot, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Which again surprises me to a certain degree because again, let me rephrase that. What surprises me to that is the simple fact of, what's the word? The simple fact of like, how do I put it? Just the idea of it all. It's like, again, to use that one joke from, what's it called? What was it? The one that has Eggman pissing on the moon. It's kind of funny when you think about, like, there are cucks in the Sonic fandom, and all I can think is that one line where it's like, how do you think I feel? I'm being cucked by a hedgehog!
Exactly.
It's just strange to see, but hey, I'm just glad that she, again, it's now a new age of fuck around and find out, and it's fucking beautiful to see. People are being held accountable, things are happening in the world. This shit is, everyone and their mother is basically saying to the world, yeah, this whole bit of you like going out there and doing awful things because you can, yeah, that's done. You're not doing that anymore.
Exactly. I mean, it'll discourage the radical behavior, it'll show that people are done with the shit, and I don't know, it's about time people stand up for themselves,
Oh, absolutely. Like, again, there's only so much you can realistically put up with before you're just kind of like getting angry with everything and their mother and yada yada yada. Again, I think a good point or a good kind of gag I could think back on is something like from an old show called Squidbillies, where a preacher character is just getting because there's just this endless heat wave. And he just shouts at God and says, "You either put up or you shut up!" And it just echoes out through the whole place, and everyone's just kind of stunned in silence. So that's what I just kind of think back on, to be quite frank. Oh God, why is it like this? Ugh. Can I use this on this model? Looks like I can. We'll see. But yeah. Anyway, actually, do you mind if I pop off?
No.
All right. I just have things to do, and if I don't get everything sorted by tonight, it's just going to be a pain in the ass later. All right, I'll see you tomorrow then.
See you
Have a good
tomorrow.
one. Bye.
Alright. Emulation, okay, you should buy... Harmon Smith has been vindicated on Sonic and Mario live stream. He said he likes Sonic racing game geared to enemy. Cough, cough, Helldiver. Your neighborhood clanker. I'm a hell jumper. We will take Super Earth. Aren't you guys just robot humans? Isn't that just taking your This is human on human crime. Shrek Snow, what's your opinion on this? Please tell me. Supernaut. Oh shit. Fuck. Super Earth cannot handle this Super Girth / Jokin. Fuck. Oh, we did it. I like how the robots are basically the board from Star Trek. Oh, okay. Well, we have one in the chat right now. Say Clanka, not Clanker. Okay. Oh, great, a War Strider. Oh, no. There goes my stealth dive. We're already 20 minutes. Oh, shit. Ah! Harmon Smith on livestream said if you like Sonic Racing more than Mario Kart. Well, Harmon didn't seem to have his way because, I don't know.
Fire in the hole!
I think I missed. I did. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, George, what a great idea. Go to this fucking thing solo. It will work out great for you. You're totally not gonna get fucked in the ass.
Freedom never sleeps!
Please. Oh. Right here? I have no way to take care of the board. Ah! Oh no. I think we're fucked.
Request approved. Reinforcements have been launched.
Democracy is land.
Oh, that's great. I think we're fucked. Oh man, I wonder why people hate the War Striders so much. I wonder why. Because I didn't fucking prepare for them, that's why. You know when people say, oh no, you can't use the recoilless rifle, you're a meta slave. Bullshit. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
That's empty.
Well, we lost our legs.
Request approved. Reinforcements have been launched.
Maybe we'll actually be able to do this now. Let's see. No, we're not. We're fucked. Ooh, well.
That's empty.
Liberty wins, and democracy raises the sword of vengeance.
Wow, what a great idea. Going into enemy territory. This wouldn't have happened had that person haven't joined on me. I could have done this all by myself, obviously. I totally wouldn't have had similar results. So what did we learn today? We should have brought the commando to deal with the War Striders. But even then, that'd probably not be good enough. Yeah, at least we got 10 super shekels.
You're here. The galaxy awaits your salvation.
Let's rethink our strategy here.
Victory in this operation has eluded our grasp, but our resolve remains firm.
Coordinates locked.
I hate that I have to do this every time I want to change one fucking thing. It just freezes my whole game. Alright.
Orbit synchronized.
Alright, let's try something else here. That might be good. Alright, let's see if this works now.
Go now, and shoot you all. Remember this. Every day is a good day to die for democracy.
Okay. Air patrols over there. Okay, the guards are right there. Oh my god. No. 343 can never deliver a stealth experience like this. Oh shit. You didn't say shit! Oh fuck. What's up? Oh, this is a really bad idea. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Bag's empty.
Helldiver KIA deploying replacement.
Are you fucking serious?
Request approved. Reinforcements have been launched.
Democracy has flamed. Throwing grenades. For prosperity!
Alright, let's take care of this stupid gun.